this is the evening where we share these incredibly courageous stories. We're going to hear about harrowing acts of bravery, sacrifice in service to strangers and fellow LAFD members alike. And we're also going to hear about true strength in the face of danger. We're going to recognize two extraordinary community partners for their unwavering support of our firefighters. But listen, before we begin, how about where we are right now? This is incredible. Let's give a big round of applause to the Dodger Stadium crew for having us here tonight once again. They're always gracious, they're always accommodating, and the Dodgers always support the LAFD, and that means so much. We also want to thank every single one of you for being here. We're so grateful that you've joined us tonight, whether you're here in person or you're tuning in live stream for this ceremony. In many ways, your presence reflects the gratitude, the respect, and the admiration from communities all across Los Angeles. And with that, I'd like to officially open tonight's program. Please rise with me as we honor our nation with the presentation of colors by the Los Angeles Fire Department Color Guard, accompanied by the LAFD pipes and drums. And following this, everyone, we have Sony Music performing artist who was just Grammy nominated, Ryan Ellis, who will sing our national anthem.
Should I face them?
Detail. Ready? Halt. Left. Right. Color guard. Present. Code.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly gleaming, and the rockets ran glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home
Can we have a round of applause for Ryan Ellis? And good luck at the Grammys.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm now going to direct your attention away from the stage and up to the sky.
Guard. Order. Colors. Right. This. Set those colors. Ready. Vote. Two.
Flex of drums. By the tap. Quick march.
I now have the distinct pleasure of welcoming Chaplain George Negretti to the stage right now for our invocation.
Good evening, everyone. Quite a pleasure to be here with you again this year. Law enforcement, chief, fire chief, city leaders and business leaders in partnership for public safety. You've brought us so much. In fact, the aerial display, right? A helicopter. You got us a helicopter. Amazing. Thank you so much. I would like to start our evening together, if you're comfortable, with a word of prayer, starting with a few seconds of silence. So much is happening in our world and the world that it's just great to stop for a moment. Robert set the stage. We're in this beautiful venue. Let's pause for a moment, and then I'll pray. You're welcome to join me. Please pause and a few seconds of silence. Father God in heaven, thank you so much for this day and this occasion, for this organization that does so much for public safety in the city. It means so much to so many people, starting with the first responder. We are grateful for your provision through this partnership that has helped us be safer, more efficient, and effective, saving lives, protecting property, furthering the greater good. Lord, we look to you now and ask for more, if we can, that you would continue to bless this city, our leaders, City Hall, and beyond. Lord, that we would continue to prosper and be safe, that you would give us more new first responders, firefighters, and police officers. God, we are fortunate here to have an infrastructure. Thank you for what you're doing through it. Bless us tonight and the food we're about to receive. Lord, we say thank you. I pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Again, thank you. Thank you all. It's good to join you. Hope to see you again next year.
I want to thank Chaplain Negretti, words emphasizing the significance of tonight's event and helps remind us of everything that the Los Angeles Fire Department does to keep us all safe 24/7. And now I have the pleasure of introducing someone I look forward to seeing every year. Mike Armour, who is the chairman of the Los Angeles Fire Department's Foundation Board of Directors. Mr. Amar, would you come on up here, please? Thank you very much. Hello, Mike. Always good to see you. Thank you.
Good evening. Welcome to the 2023 Valor ceremony. Thank you for joining us tonight to celebrate our honorees. I would like to start by thanking the Los Angeles Dodgers for opening the stadium to us. As a chairman of the LAFD Foundation Board of Directors, I look forward to this event every year. I have always believed in the heroism of each and every one of our firefighters. That belief is central to the Foundation's work and our mission to support the department with the equipment and the programs that it needs. Each year at this event, we take a moment to honor those whose service goes above and beyond the call of duty. Each one of their stories is memorable and moving. I am certain that you will leave here tonight inspired, grateful, and eager to do more. Many of us here tonight share a commitment to community service. But the commitment of our LAFD firefighters, as you are here tonight, is incomparable. It moves them to risk their own safety, even when off duty, for the benefit of others. It reminds us how important their work is to the health and safety of Los Angeles, and how incredibly deserving they are of our support. As chairman, I have also seen how the funds raised at the Valor Awards contribute to our mission at the Foundation. The Valor Awards have a very real, tangible effect on our provision of the equipment and programs that the LAFD needs each year. Our work would not be possible without your generosity and support, especially from our sponsors and partners. This includes our presenting sponsor, Harbor Freight Tools Foundation, as well as our gold sponsors, Bank of America, Cedars-Sinai, Delta Airlines, Spruce Healthcare Group, Waymo, Wells Fargo Bank, and our friends at URW Westfield. We are truly grateful for all what you do to support our LAFD firefighters. Also, a special thanks to our Foundation President, Liz Lynn, and the entire staff for their hard work and dedication. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Please enjoy the program.
Another round of applause for Mike Amar. Mike, we appreciate and support and thank you for everything the Foundation does for the Los Angeles Fire Department. The word that Mike said is so appropriate here tonight, inspired. Prepare to be inspired. We have quite a program for you. But I want to talk about the Foundation because for more than a decade, the LAFD Foundation has worked to channel community support into tangible resources that keep firefighters safe and enable them to serve at the very highest level. Their heavy-duty flashlights, flame-resistant hoods, their safety gloves. We see them suit up with this equipment each time they roll out to emergencies. All of this and so much more was made possible because of your generous contributions to the LAFD Foundation. And the foundation's work doesn't just end there. This past year, the LAFD Foundation undertook a particularly ambitious fundraising endeavor, securing a new $2.6 million helicopter for the LAFD. And some of you sitting here tonight have played a significant role in making that dream happen. You will be pleased to know that the new Fire 7 has already assisted with several swift water rescue operations caused by the late winter flooding we had earlier this year. Fire 7 will contribute to the LAFD's existing fleet by providing helicopter command and control when multiple aircrafts are in the air. And that's especially important as we enter our difficult wildfire season. Now, as a lighter helicopter, Fire 7 also serves as a powerful training tool for the LAFD so that larger helicopters are reserved for when they are really needed. Acquiring this helicopter is just one of the examples of the fundraising projects spearheaded by the LAFD Foundation. So if you sponsor this event, if you purchase tickets to this event, or you bid on items in the silent auction, please know that you are truly the reason why the LAFD Foundation can secure these necessary resources for our firefighters. So please give yourselves a round of applause for all that you are doing and will continue to do. Before I introduce our next speaker, I want to take a moment to acknowledge some special guests who we are thrilled that are joining us here tonight. And when I call your name, please stand. And we are going to start with our Chief of Police, Michael Moore. Thank you, Chief. From our Los Angeles City Council, let's welcome Council Member Eunices Hernandez. Council Member Marquise Harris Dawson. And Council Member Hugo Soto Martinez. We want to thank you all for your civic leadership and for joining us tonight to honor our firefighters. Now, speaking of leadership, I think you all know who's coming next. It is my honor to welcome to the stage our Los Angeles City Fire Department Chief, Kristen Crowley.
Good evening, everyone. You can see me smiling. I am so excited that we're here together tonight. And I'm so very grateful for each and every one of you that are here, and you're taking time out of your busy lives to be here to support your LAFD. We're so grateful. We know why we're gathered here tonight, and that is truly in the spirit of recognition. We take the time to pay tribute to the extraordinary acts of courage and selflessness that were exhibited by our LAFD members. As your fire chief, every time I say that, my heart is full. I stand before you with an immense pride and the deepest respect for the men and women who go above and beyond the call of duty to protect and serve the communities of our great city of Los Angeles. Now, valor is not a word that we use lightly. It speaks of noble deeds, of bravery, and of the unwavering commitment to serve others before self. Often, as we witness, it's at great personal risk. The individuals that we are here to honor tonight have demonstrated these qualities in the most challenging circumstances, embodying the highest ideals of the LAFD and the fire service as a whole. So tonight we gather here together in this beautiful, beautiful evening to highlight our LAFD members' heroic and courageous actions, both on duty and off duty. Their bravery, their commitment to serve remind us of the fundamental principles upon which your LAFD's mission is built. I wanted to take a moment to pause here because it's a special time, because to our honorees, we thank you, we honor you, and we stand with you to celebrate who you are and what you all truly represent. Now, I would be remiss if I did not mention our other 3,779 sworn and civilian members. In case you were not aware, your LAFD on a 24-hour period will run over 1,500 calls in the city of Los Angeles. We'll transport over 650 patients to our emergency rooms. In fact, we ran 499,622 calls just last year in 2022. I also would be remiss if I didn't take the time to please request all of our active and retired LAFD members to stand so that we can recognize them. Please stand, everybody. Stand up, be proud. All right, thank you, everybody. And I tell you, I could not be prouder of our LAFD members at this very moment. Now, as you know, or may not know, that firefighters take significant risks in the line of duty, which often extends beyond the physical risks of the job. Understanding these sacrifices highlights the depth of our commitment to public safety and to the community that we serve. So what are these risks and actual commitments? What are they? Let's think about that real quick. And I think it's really important that if you're taking the time to be here tonight, that we understand the risks that our firefighters are willing to take, but also the commitments that they are dedicated to every single day of every single hour. Let's think about the physical risks, the mental and emotional tolls, the time away from your families, the physical health, the personal life sacrifices, our training and preparedness, psychological impacts of high-stress situations, and lastly, our deeply rooted community commitments. Now, we are absolutely driven by a sense of duty and the desire to save and positively impact lives around us. If you were to ask any of those individuals that just stood before you, I can tell you with certainty, we'll tell you that we absolutely love our jobs. So, let's think about this. It absolutely takes a village. And I say that almost every single day, and you're part of that. And we are deeply, deeply grateful for your commitment to us. So thank you to the Fire Foundation, Liz Lynn, and your staff. You do amazing work, the executive board, to Mayor Bass and her leadership, our brothers and sisters with PD, Chief Moore, our elected officials who are here to support us, and the donors and sponsors. I tell you, your LAFD is so grateful for your generosity and your unwavering support that you provide for your LAFD. And because of all of you, we have been able to address and reduce the risk to our firefighters, and we thank you for that. Because of you, we have also taken the opportunity to enhance our capabilities to provide life-saving services and safeguard the lives and properties that we all took an oath to serve and to protect. Your generosity has been a lifeline, not just for the LAFD, but for the entire community. And I hope each and every one of you here actually understand how far-reaching what you do for us in the community actually means. So, to each of you that believe in our work and stand with us, we thank you. Your support transcends monetary value, and it embodies the shared vision of a safer, more resilient community. And I can tell you this, I promise you, and your LAFD pledges to continue to be good stewards of your generosity and to push the boundaries of excellence and to make you proud of the differences that you have made and the contributions that you have made as well. So with that, my heart is full in seeing you all here today and this evening, I should say, choosing to spend your time to recognize and honor our LAFD members. And also, a key point tonight is let us not forget the families and the loved ones who support our firefighters. I had the honor to meet a few of the family members here, and that's just, again, it makes my heart shine because we understand what our families sacrifice. They too are critical. They are a critical part of our fire service family. And your sacrifices do not go unnoticed, and we owe a debt of gratitude for the greater good. If we could have the families of LAFD members please stand to be recognized, I would appreciate it. Please stand. Thank you, family members. We appreciate it. Glad we could honor you as well. So with that, thank you for the honor of leading such an extraordinary group of people. Stay safe, stay strong, and may we always be ready to serve tomorrow as we are today. Thank you, everybody. It's an honor.
Chief Crowley, everyone. And let's also take an opportunity to thank the chief as well as our city and state leaders for guiding us through what happened on the 10 freeway the past couple of days and keeping us updated on the investigation and the closure and getting the freeway up and running again. Chief, thank you. What you're going to hear with this year's awards is that they represent only a small glimpse of the sacrifices our firefighters make day in and day out to protect each and every one of us. Everyone knows firefighters for firefighting, right? But what people don't know and what people should be proud of is the breadth and the scope of what the LAFD does. Our Los Angeles Fire Department is the only fire department in the nation with such a broad spectrum of responsibilities. And you are going to see that for yourselves throughout tonight's program. Since I've emceed this event, I've never seen the diverse range of incidents that we have to present to you tonight. It's really incredible. And remember, when you're hearing these stories, just think of the approximately 1,500 calls that the LAFD responds to each day. This, again, is just a small little facet of what they face to keep us safe 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In 2018, California's deadliest wildfire season on record, the Sophia Grace Foundation was deeply moved by the LAFD members battling these fires and protecting life and environment. They felt the desire to make a difference, and this desire was the ongoing catalyst for an ongoing partnership between the Sophia Grace Foundation and the LAFD Foundation. So for the past 5 years, the Sophia Grace Foundation has partnered with the LAFD Foundation to secure vital equipment and vital resources for our firefighters. Those of you who live, like me, in wildfire-prone areas have been directly impacted by the work of the Sophia Grace Foundation. From funding the purchase of state-of-the-art technology to spearheading the fundraising campaign for that Fire 7 helicopter that I mentioned in the first half of our program. They have been behind the scenes supporting our LAFD for years. The Sophia Grace Foundation takes great pride in supporting local, national, and international nonprofits that have dedicated their missions to climate and environmental protection, international humanitarian work, social and economic justice, and disaster prevention and response. The LAFD is honored to count the Sophia Grace Foundation as one of its most valuable and dedicated community partners.
We created the Sophia Grace Foundation in 2017 to focus on environmental and climate work, as well as humanitarian projects and disaster relief. One thing we began to see pretty quickly was that all these areas of need are very interrelated.
We first learned about the LAFD Foundation back in 2018. It was one of the most deadly and destructive wildfire season in California. We were so grateful for the brave men and women who were battling these fires. They were protecting our city, and we just wanted to find a way to support them as a token of our appreciation.
Yeah, the LAFD Foundation is just really great. I think we feel a special connection to it because, you know, we're Angelinos, and I've just been amazed with how creative their solutions are to various problems.
The budget only allows for a small portion of the equipment and tools that the firefighters and the paramedics need. So that's where the LAFD Foundation comes in, and they bridge the gap. They fundraise and purchase these life-saving tools that we need.
They need and deserve the safest and most effective equipment. Last year, we had the opportunity to partner with the LAFD Foundation on spearheading fundraising for a new light-duty helicopter. These types of helicopters act as a crucial air traffic control when there are multiple other aircraft dropping water on wildfires. With all the fires that have been happening lately, we felt like this was a really urgent need. Liz and the foundation went to work and were able to raise all the necessary funds. So now LAFD has this new helicopter.
The foundation does such a great job, and they are always looking for ways to support the LAFD with their critical programs, and they're just, you know, helping the city and saving lives and protecting our city. I
just love how down to earth and practical it is in everything that we have helped to fundraise for. Feels like it really is making a difference in the lives of all the people in the LAFD.
And now, with great appreciation, the Sophia Grace Foundation is presented with the 2023 Foundation of the Year Award. Sophia Grace's President, Christina Singleton, and Vice President Cindy Yao, will you please join us in accepting the award? Got quite a cheering section over there. Next, we have the Community Impact Award. This recognition is bestowed upon an organization that provides invaluable service to the community and outstanding support for the people of Los Angeles. To that end, it is my pleasure to present the 2023 Community Impact Award to Cedars-Sinai. How about this for history? What started in 1902 as a 12-bed hospital in Angelino Heights has quickly evolved in all of these years to become one of the largest medical institutions in the state of California. Cedars-Sinai is a nonprofit academic healthcare organization and a world-renowned hospital that cares for more than 240,000 people each year in Los Angeles. The organization's regional impact is twofold, reflected in both its nationally recognized emergency medical services and its community partnerships. As a result of this, Cedars-Sinai has fostered a collaborative 12-year partnership with the LAFD Foundation to address behavioral health and safety needs for the LAFD. Cedars-Sinai received 11,581 LAFD ambulance transports in 2022 alone, and has provided extensive support to a wide range of impact areas that have directly supported our firefighters over the years. Now, just to name a few, Cedars-Sinai helped launch the LAFD's first advanced provider response unit in order to treat minor incidents that don't require hospitalizations. They have supported the LAFD's behavioral health program to ensure that members have access to counseling and have access to therapy. From new hoods that reduce exposure to contaminants to youth programs like the LAFD Fire Academy, Cedars-Sinai's collaboration has been pivotal in advancing the impact of the LAFD Foundation and the work of the LAFD.
We are here to serve the community, and LAFD becomes an important community partner. One of the issues in Los Angeles County is that there are insufficient emergency departments in the county. And so Cedars-Sinai becomes an important resource and service provider for all those patients that need care.
I think we both have the mission that no matter what, we're going to be able to serve our community, whether it's in the field or at the hospital. Our motto is that our doors will not close.
Community benefits in getting world-class care, and world-class care here at Cedars-Sinai. So we're able to accept all types of cases and all types of trauma. We also have a HeLa stop on top of our ICU building to provide access for the LAFD.
I really would like to just continue our planning and our integration with the LAFD to make sure that we're always ready for the mass casualty incidents. One of, I think, our top hazards that we need to remain ready for.
What I bring to the board of the LAFD Foundation is the perspective from an industry partner that deals in the healthcare space. And so not only is it the health of our patients in our community, but it's also the health and well-being of the firefighters.
I've been at Cedars-Sinai now for 17 years, and my job is to make sure that the hospital is prepared for any type of emergency, whether that happens internally inside the hospital, or if we're responding to an emergency in the community.
What I've been most impressed by from the board is the spirit of community involvement and putting the LAFD and the LAFD Foundation first ahead of our own personal interests. And I think that's the part that I'm most impressed about. It's a very mission-driven organization.
The LAFD are critical partners for all types of emergencies. Obviously, LAFD is going to be that first responder on scene, and then they're going to be moving those patients to the hospital for additional care. And we need to make sure that we're ready to collaborate when that big event happens. But we also need to be ready to collaborate when the hospital is the site of the emergency. So if there's a fire at the hospital, for example, we need to make sure that we meet with the first responders and we're able to collaborate and make sure we handle the situation quickly and safely.
Great people, a great partnership, and we're both serving the community.
And now, in gratitude for all they have done for the LAFD and the people of Los Angeles, Cedars-Sinai is presented with the 2023 Community Impact Award. Accepting tonight's award, please welcome Zeke Trajana and Ryan Tuckmeyer to the stage. Congratulations. In recent years, a special category was introduced to recognize one specific station, unit, or program that really represents the best that the LAFD has to offer. The personnel at all 106 fire stations and specialty units serve with courage and integrity and pride. And this is the mantra instilled in every LAFD member on day one of their drill tower training. However, the members of this particular unit handle a different workload, and they face a unique set of challenges and dangers, and they do so with courage and integrity and pride. The 2023 Unit of the Year Award is presented to the LAFD's Arson Counterterrorism Section. The Arson Counterterrorism Section, or we in the media call them the Arson Unit for short, are a unique set of firefighters who have the same capabilities as peace officers. They have the authority to carry weapons. They have the authority to serve warrants. And they can arrest suspects. This vital unit of the LAFD investigates every fire and explosion where there is suspicion or knowledge that a crime of arson has been committed. Arson, as I think you all know, that has just made headlines in Los Angeles. The arson unit has made over 50 arrests in 2023 so far, and how about this? A 95% conviction rate. This unit is diverse and highly trained. They're a group of full-time investigators that put in countless hours of work from the initial on-scene investigation to the most dangerous part of their job, apprehending those criminals.
We are one of the top investigative agencies when it comes to arson investigations. And the reason being is because of our call load, the experience that we come on as firefighters. Some departments have detectives that try to learn fire behavior. We already have that knowledge. The other thing is we work with some of the top investigative agencies in the world. LAPD robbery homicide we know is the best. And when it comes to arson, they rely on our expertise.
It's very dynamic. 1 minute we're investigating a small little rubbish fire. The next minute we are investigating a huge, 4-story, 5-story, 6-story building fire. It could be a business, it could be a house, it could be just a small trash can. It's just a lot of fun.
In our section, we have one of 4 dogs in California that are Department of Justice dogs, which belong to the federal government, on loan to the fire department.
Within our section, once someone's apprehended, meaning they are booked for the crime of arson, our conviction rate is approximately 95%.
I stay here because I love the job. I like coming into work. I like what I do. I have a stress relief partner, that kind of gets me through the day every day. 2 of them actually. K9 Blue and K9 Panthera, they're both my partners. Blue just retired back in February, and Pantera just came into service in February. I like working with dogs. I like what they do. I like what they do for the section. I like how they help us solve cases in a lot of incidents.
My average day changes completely every single day, and you never know what's going to come. We could have absolutely nothing all day, and we could just be doing follow-up work and paperwork, case files, that type of thing. And then the next day we could have calls back to back to back to back, where we're out of the station from 6:30 a.m. to 8, 9, 10 p.m. and then we get more until 6:30 the next morning.
Other departments don't have the call load. Plus they have 80 to 100 investigators in their unit. We only have 18 for the entire city of Los Angeles.
So you do see the worst of the worst, but sometimes you see the better part of your job that makes you feel a little bit better.
I'm most proud of being a member of the Los Angeles Fire Department. I always wanted to do it as a young child or a teenager, young adult, and being assigned to the Los Angeles Fire Department's Arson Counterterrorism section is also an honor.
And so it is my honor to present the 2023 Unit of the Year Award to the LAFD's Arson Counterterrorism section. Accepting the award tonight is Battalion Chief David Reddix. Now, before we get to the rest of our awards, and I'm going to have a chance to introduce a very special guest, we have a very special presentation for you first. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Panthera, and you just saw him on the video, investigator Gus Gaeta. Hopefully they're making their way here to us. There they are. Okay, good. Okay, so somewhere you're going to see on the warning tracks, right? There's 2 envelopes. Now, Panthera, that beautiful dog, Labrador Retriever, has never seen these envelopes before. She has no idea where they are. Now, each envelope is marked with a trace amount of, I didn't write this, accelerant. I know what you're thinking. Don't worry. We're not going to start any fires here tonight. These envelopes actually contain the bid numbers of 2 randomly selected audience members that are going to receive some LAFD swag. So be sure to check the number on the back of your programs to see if you're the winner. But first, let's see if Panthera can sniff them out.
So what Panthera is doing here first, as an accelerant detection dog, is she's getting calibrated with her dog handler, Gus Gaeta. What she's going to do with this calibration is first she's going to get a starting point, a baseline, and then she's going to have an ending point. And that's when she gets rewarded. She gets rewarded at the calibration, and she gets rewarded at the very end. And by that, she has detected something inside this box. All right, we'll open it to reveal the first winner. So we have our first winner is Tammy Gutman. Tammy Gutman. All right, we have a second detection.
That's it.
And you'll see that she gets rewarded when she finds something. right, we have our second winner, Derek Macken. Derek Macken.
Congratulations to you both. Stop by the registration area at the close of our ceremony to claim your prize. We've already thanked our council members who are here with us tonight, Marquise Harris-Dawson, Eunices Hernandez, and Hugo Soto Martinez. We also want to thank Council Member Tracy Park for joining us as well. Thank you. And speaking of elected officials, we are so very fortunate to be joined by our most prominent city leader. For the past year, she has worked tirelessly to make Los Angeles a greater city, and she has been an ardent champion of our first responders. With that said, please join me in welcoming to the stage the Mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass.
Good evening, everyone. It is definitely my pleasure to be here today to honor our firefighters. It's really an honor to be here, especially with our chief, Chief Crowley. Give her another round of applause. We spend an awful lot of time together. First it was a hurricane, then it was a fire at a freeway, but we have definitely been there and through definitely tough times. And I joke a little bit, but it's no joke what is going on right now. I want to recognize the firefighters who battled the significant fire at the 10 freeway on early Saturday morning. A 164 firefighters from over 26 companies responded and limited the overall damage. Now, I've been out there, I've seen the damage. I can't even imagine what the damage would have been if the team had not been out there. And then the fact that the fire was so hot, it destroyed an entire engine. This is really a source of pride for all of us in our city, what our firefighters did over the weekend. It's also an honor to be here with the foundation. Our city firefighters have advocates and partners dedicated to working with the city to make sure that our firefighters always have the equipment and tools they need to get the job done and to get home safely to their families. A couple of months ago, I had the honor of spending an evening with the firefighters on Skid Row. And you know, years ago I worked in the emergency room, so I was used to receiving firefighters when they would bring in patients, but I had never done the street side. So I spent an evening with them on Friday night, and there were calls every 10 minutes. And it's been a long time since I did that type of work, and I learned about this new machine, the machine that does compressions for CPR. And I made a commitment to the chief. I asked her, how much did these machines cost? And she told me $30,000 each. And I said, I want to make a commitment to help the foundation raise the money because every department should have that compression machine. Every department should have that. I want to give a special thank you to all the families that are here today to honor their loved ones. Without your support and dedication, the fire department would not be what it is. So please give all the family members a round of applause. Today, I know we're honoring 6 firefighters who have gone above and beyond the call of duty, and in doing so, have shown us what true selflessness looks like. These firefighters will be honored with a Medal of Merit or a Special Commendation Award for their exemplary actions. In addition, we honor the Unit of the Year, as well as the foundations and organizations that have been crucial in supporting our fire department. I'm honored to recognize the 6 firefighters who remind us of what is really at stake every time you put on your uniforms. It's the safety of our families and the security of our communities. I also want to acknowledge something that I learned years ago when I was in the state legislature, and that is the health challenges of our firefighters. What you go through when you're out there battling fires, the exposure you have, and I know you have equipment and you've learned so much more now than 12, 14 years ago when I was in Sacramento. But I understood then and I understand now that your health challenges also have to be front and center in our minds when we think about you and when we care for you. It's not just when you fight fires, it's what happens after you fight fires. So I want to thank you for that bravery, and I want to thank your families for accepting the unique sacrifices that come with your service. So once again, thank you all, and thank you for having me here this evening and for serving the city with such dedication. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, a round of applause for Mayor Karen Bass. As Mayor Bass just mentioned, 6 firefighters above and beyond the call of duty, and you're about to hear their stories. These are exemplary LAFD members, and as the mayor mentioned, they're being honored tonight with letters of special commendation and medals of merit. We will now recognize 2 members for their response to a devastating fire. Let's take you back to last September 11th. This was a harrowing situation that was unfolding at Victory Baptist Church in South Los Angeles. You remember? This is a 100-year-old historical landmark, and it's a religious haven for South Los Angeles's Black community, and it suddenly was ablaze. Captain Florin Sarbu and his team arrived on the scene, and they entered the sanctuary and quickly discovered a fire that was roaring in the bathroom on the 2nd floor. So while Sarbu and his team began fighting the fire in the bathroom and calling in reinforcements, the roof team reported a growing blaze from the church's attic. Apparatus operator David Duran was also on scene and gathered his crew to support Sarbu and his team by breaching the ceiling and accessing the attic, carving ventilation holes and feeding water to the flames. So as water poured into the attic space, an ominous sign revealed itself. At that time, those firefighters had no idea the old attic beams were falling apart due to significant termite damage. Unbeknownst to all of them, the influx of water was causing the ceiling to sag. Without warning, within seconds, disaster. A colossal expanse of the ceiling did collapse, immediately trapping an LAFD member beneath its weight. Suddenly, a mayday call reverberated throughout the chaos. A fellow firefighter, one of their own, was down. Firefighters surged forward to assist, but the fallen debris made efforts to free the incapacitated member nearly impossible. But thinking quickly and thinking strategically, Captain Sarbu and apparatus operator David Duran channeled their collective strength to break apart and shift all of that fallen debris. In a coordinated effort, Sarbu and Duran freed the entrapped member in just 3 minutes and 37 seconds. Little did they know, another disaster was just around the corner. Within minutes of the first rescue, a second disaster struck. Another section of the ceiling plummeted to the ground, trapping 2 more members. A second mayday call ran out. Captain Sarbu and A.O. Duran once again sprang into action. Duran got to work and used his chainsaw to slice through the barricade where members were trapped, while Sarbu made sure that the trapped members weren't harmed by those swift and precise cuts. Minutes felt like an eternity. The firefighters worked tirelessly to try to release the weight of the debris from those trapped firefighters. Finally, firefighters were able to free their 2 trapped brothers and drag them to safety.
Firefighters first responded to this major emergency around 2:30 in the morning at the Victory Baptist Church on South McKinley Avenue. The church itself, over 100 years old, was fully involved with fire. Firefighters entered the church and were doing an interior fire attack when a section of the building collapsed.
I've never pictured and imagined someone that you know their family, their husbands, dads, and you sit there and go, we don't have a job. Right? We're not told you have time to have emotions, right? We don't have that luxury. We're told we have to act, right? We have to be able to detach ourselves, which we did in that incident. We have to have a higher level of thinking, which means take a deep breath. There's someone in there. We got to solve the problem.
So when we have a Mayday condition, which is a national standard call for an emergency, a firefighter's either missing, down, or trapped, and certain tones are put out by our dispatch center. And it basically tells everybody to get off the radio because we have a firefighter that needs rescuing.
I just knew the tools I had, we had at our disposal. When we were trying to get Captain Garcia out, was get a pike pole underneath there, try to relieve some of the pressure from the weight of the ceiling. And I remember the pike pole snapping, but there was no feelings and emotions. It was just time to get work done. That was it. You get work done.
When we solved that problem, we got one of our brothers out. I don't know if it just felt great was the word for it, but it felt like we did our job. We got him out and we moved on to continuing fighting that fire because we had a job to do.
Everybody starts pitching in and you kind of take the role of delegating because you can't do everything. You just see a red or orange helmet and hey, this is what we got to do. So, everybody on the scene did good with just making things happen.
When that second collapse happened, I could not imagine that there was someone in there. I popped my head in there as a courtesy look just to make sure, and words cannot describe when I saw someone else stuck in there. Knowing what we just went through, we got to go right back to work. I was very thankful that we were both on the same page without talking. When we knew it took a lot of effort to get that 10 by 20 sheet off of Eric Garcia, we knew exactly what it was going to take to be able to get the same sheet 10 by 20 off of EIT Marcinko. That's why I'm glad to have Duran next to me to be able to go right to work.
It's kind of like when we're making a football play and they call an audible. It's okay, everybody knows their job at that point, so you just do it.
I definitely want to mention the efforts that we had always came from our mentors. We had the same type of mentors. We had the same type of training, right, that we received from just firefighters on this job, captains on this job, that always believed in giving every last ounce of effort and giving everything you have, never giving up, using all the tools, all the knowledge, and everything you've learned for the last several years and putting it together, because you're never going to have the same firefight as you did the last time.
One of the things that I did was I called everybody that influenced my whole career, my 18 years, I called them up and said thank you. That it all came down to that one day. It was just everything that they were able to give me made things work that day. God put us in that position and we were able to perform.
Captain Florin Sarbu and apparatus operator David Duran are each presented with a letter of special commendation for their swift thinking and courageous actions in the rescue of all 3 trapped members during the McKinley fire. Congratulations, gentlemen. Absolutely. This next award is also a letter of special commendation. November 3rd, 2022. Firefighter paramedic Darren Lloyd was with Rescue Ambulance 7 when he received an urgent emergency call, and the report was alarming. A 30-year-old woman had just given birth on the streets, and her newborn was not breathing. Arriving on the scene, Lloyd was shocked, and here's why. 3 years ago, he and his fellow firefighters had responded to a call involving the exact same woman. 3 years ago, the same woman had overdosed on drugs and shockingly delivered her first child. At that time, he tried everything to rescue the infant, but that baby did not survive. So as you can imagine, this type of incident really never leaves a firefighter's memory. So then imagine on this call on November 3rd, Lloyd and his team are facing the same incident, the same woman, and the same dire situation. But Lloyd was determined to give this infant a fighting chance. He convinced the mother to go to the hospital this time. Lloyd left to respond to another call, but later returned to check on the mother and the baby, and this time he received devastating news. The mother had cut the baby's umbilical cord and had left the hospital without treatment and without care for the infant. Lloyd and RA7 spent every moment they weren't on a call that day searching for the mother and searching for the missing infant. With no luck, and at the end of their shift, the team went home, understandably feeling very defeated. That is, except for firefighter paramedic Lloyd. He couldn't bring himself to go home. He was determined to give this newborn a fighting chance. And he continued his search for the next several hours, all of these hours while he was off duty. After locating a neighbor with connections to the mother who agreed to help, Lloyd then finally decided to go home with the infant's safety weighing heavily on his spirit. But the next day he received a hopeful call. As a direct result of Lloyd's efforts, Fire Station 7 members found the mother and the infant, and they were transporting both of them to the hospital.
I'm going off duty. I haven't slept in 3 days. It's messing with me. I go down to the wash. I'm talking to the homeless people in the encampment. I'm like, hey, I'm looking for a lady with a newborn baby. It's kind of obvious that a kid shouldn't be down there. They haven't seen her. And I'm coming up out of the wash, and there is a home that's right next to the wash. And the homeowner recognized me. I'm like, hey, you're the fireman. I'm like, yeah, how you doing? Hey, what are you doing over in the cabin? Hey, I'm looking for this homeless lady, known drug addict, with this baby. Have you seen that? And he names her by name. I tell him, like, hey, it is imperative that we find this lady. Call 911 and tell them that it's a child in distress.
He was relentless. He just continued to search for that baby. There was no way he was going to give up until he found that baby.
I leave, I go home, talking to my wife, telling about everything that happened. She ends up taking me to dinner. One of my friends from Rescue 7 calls me. It's like, yo, we got the kid. It was a win. It was a win. It was needed, I hadn't slept. Firefighters, we see a lot, and we kind of become numb to some things. But kids will leave you vulnerable. And any personal trauma, any bad things you've ever encountered will surface. It just takes a trigger, and that was a trigger.
This baby may never know Darren, but for the rest of Darren's life and the rest of our lives, we will know that Darren Lloyd made a decision to save that baby, and he did.
Fighter paramedic Darren Lloyd's exhaustive efforts, unyielding determination, and his compassion are the reason this newborn was found, given life-saving care, and is alive today. With that said, we are proud to present firefighter paramedic Darren Lloyd with a letter of special commendation. Got Mayor Bass beaming over there. This, you're all going to remember this, and I don't think we'll forget it because it was so unique and jaw-dropping. With that said, our next award is the Medal of Merit, and it is presented to members who distinguish themselves by performing an act where their actions, if not taken, would have resulted in serious injury or presented imminent danger to life. The individual or individuals must have demonstrated an act of bravery with calculated personal risk to their own lives. And again, ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this event received a lot of news coverage worldwide, because who would ever think that a swarm of bees would invade a Los Angeles neighborhood and cause enough damage to nearly take a man's life? This was just a few months ago on May 15th, and it was a routine day for the LAFD that took a disturbing turn for the worse. Firefighter Carrie Field and firefighter paramedic Jason Lawrence received a call reporting a large swarm of bees. When the two arrived on scene, they were, in fact, taken aback. Thousands and thousands of bees, more than they had ever seen, were swarming multiple houses and attacking everyone that ventured within 30 yards of their domain. And as the chaos unfolded before them, Field and Lawrence noticed a UPS driver outside of his truck, completely unaware, oblivious to the danger that was before him. Now, they attempted to warn the UPS driver using the fire engine's PA system, but it was too late. Driver was overtaken by an onslaught of these aggressive bees in just mere seconds. Without hesitation, Lawrence and Field sprang into action, and despite being accosted by those angry bees as soon as they stepped off of the engine, they did not skip a beat. Their protective gear offered little relief, because this was an unrelenting swarm of bees that continued to attack as they raced to the aid of that stricken UPS driver. Field and Lawrence went from house to house, desperately seeking refuge while their patient was quickly slipping into an unconscious state. After attempting entry at 8 homes, a caring neighbor finally let Lawrence and Field in. They began swiftly and precisely administering life-saving treatment to that UPS driver, who by this time had gone into full anaphylactic shock, all the while still covered in bees.
As soon as I jumped off, I got stung twice, was bleeding from the lip. And so the engine, they were getting on their PA system, and they were going to notify people that were coming down the hill and everywhere in the neighborhood to go back in their houses or stay away from this area.
There's an empty UPS truck, and we're like, oh no, like parked in front of the house that has all the bees on it. So we're like, where is the driver? And then we spot him, and he's shirt over his head, like running.
All the bees were still chasing us. So we had about 25 to 50 bees that were on Carrie, myself, and the patient. As we're heading up the hill, I told Carrie, I said, hey, we're gonna have to kick in a door to gain shelter so I can treat this guy, because we're constantly doing this, and our patient was starting to go down at that point.
And this lady was very nice. She let us into her house because we were like, please, like this. She could see this guy was not doing well.
We needed to treat him right away because you could tell that obviously he was in anaphylactic shock with his ears, his eyes were closing, and so we lifted up the patient's shirt. He had bees coming out. from his shirt, from his shorts. He had been stung over 100 times just in the face, 100 times to the chest, and then the rest of his body as well. Carrie and I just focused on the task at hand. We knew we had to treat this patient, and so we just went to work. Carrie helped me set up an albuterol treatment for the patient because he had inspiratory and expiratory wheezes. 3 to 5 minutes later, he came to, and swelling went down, and he was on the mend.
The beekeeper finally came, and he was even shocked. He's like, these bees are mad at something. He's like, I've been doing this for a really long time, and I haven't, like, the bees are never this mad.
It literally felt like a horror movie. I mean, Carrie had bees in her hair. I had bees in, my hair all over us, and we're constantly doing this. I'm spitting blood, and it was something that you can't prepare for.
That teamwork aspect of us working together, like, it really matters. Training together, knowing what our protocols are, like what our guidelines are, it's pretty much the same at every station. And that's the cool part about how we work here at the LAFD. It's like, I could go ride a different engine and we're going to be able to be on the same idea of what we need to get done.
To all my brothers and sisters on the Los Angeles City Fire Department, we do this job every day without going recognized. So I just wanted to share this medal with everybody on the job.
And although he was transported to the emergency room in critical condition, that UPS driver has made a full recovery thanks to the tireless efforts of Field and Lawrence. With that said, the Medal of Merit is presented to firefighter Carrie Field and firefighter paramedic Jason Lawrence for their quick thinking and their life-saving actions during this unique and this harrowing incident. Congratulations to you both. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to our final honoree of the evening, who will also be receiving a Medal of Merit for an act of bravery that led to not one, but 2 life-saving rescues. Last winter, as you all remember, the San Fernando Valley experienced particularly relentless rainfall that month, which left an aftermath of flooding and destruction. On January 9th, a frantic call reporting a traffic accident led the LAFD to what would become an immensely dangerous and life-threatening situation. 2 vehicles were teetering precariously, 2 vehicles, one on top of the other, in the mouth of a gaping sinkhole on Iverson Road. Over time, water can erode the soil so much that it completely removes the soil itself from under the ground. And when this happens, whatever is above the soil, in this case, the road, cannot support its own weight and collapses into that empty space below. The situation was so dangerous that the LAFD called in all of their resources: Urban Search and Rescue, Heavy Rescue Unit, Light Force 96, and 3 different engines plus EMS. They all arrived on scene to discover that while the top vehicle was empty, a mother and her daughter were trapped in the lowermost vehicle. The LAFD and that team jumped into action. 2 ladders were deployed so that the individuals could climb out to safety. But the mother and the daughter, understandably, were too afraid to crawl out and over that abyss. All of this while their lives hang in the balance. This sinkhole is threatening to collapse further at any moment. The LAFD on-scene units coordinated then to set up a 2-line rope system. Now, this is a tactic used for technical rescues that require rope access to patients themselves. All members turned to apparatus operator Ty Trin, who is specifically trained for these type of high-angle rescue operations. The sinkhole right now is rapidly deteriorating, and it is posing a dire threat. AO Trin is focused on one thing and one thing only, getting those trapped victims to safety as quickly as possible. Trin's fellow members knew he himself was in imminent danger, and they anxiously waited and watched him descend into the crumbling hole not once, but twice. With steady resolve and intense focus on his mission, Ty Trin was able to rescue both victims from the chasm.
It was actually a really busy day. We're listening to the radio and I hear 96's confirmed that we have 2 vehicles in a sinkhole. And I'm like, oh, so I look over. At the time it was Captain McGinnis I was working with. And we look over, I'm like, oh, we got something. Just got all my stuff on. I said, when you're ready, I'm ready. And they just started raising me. And once I got into the hole, I really was tunnel vision. And I really didn't think about the severity of the actual sinkhole or anything going wrong. I was just more like, okay, I'm gonna get my harness on the victim, attach him to the ropes, ready, okay, we're raised. I just remember opening the door and tying it off, and I look down and I see, 2 people, one person on top of the other one, and they're kind of looking up, and I'm telling them to lower me. As I come down, I'm trying to not step on anybody, and as I get to them, I think they were obviously nervous, cold and wet, everything. But I said, hey, I need you to help me. You need to stand up. And they're like, well, how do you stand up in a car that's sideways and you got somebody underneath you? It's totally awkward. At this point, I'm looking up and talking to Rob McGinnis, and I'm, hey, go ahead and start raising me. And it wasn't until the second victim, when I went back into the hole, when all of a sudden I start hearing yelling about the hole was getting worse. Things were starting to slough in, water, things like that. I'm kind of tunnel visioned, and I hear Brian LaVrie, who was on Heavy U, he's yelling at me, and he's like, Ty, just hurry up. And I'm like, I'm trying. Brian's like, don't even worry about the topper. Just get her on one and pull her out, because they're totally looking at a whole different vision, and I'm the tunnel vision. It was comforting to feel that you have guys supporting you, and it just felt good to be able to feel that way. And I do remember just knowing that I had all the support from the USAR guys.
Against a backdrop of turmoil, Trin transformed a dire situation into a successful rescue operation with no lives lost. For his heroic actions, apparatus operator Ty Trin is awarded with the Medal of Merit. Hi, stay right there for me, please. Tom, I'm going to have you stay right here, and I'm going to ask all of our honorees to please come back to the stage. We're going to take this opportunity to get a photo with our honorees, but can we all give them a round of applause as they stand here with us? Thank you so much. Thank you, man. Thank you so much.